The name's Sherlock Holmes, and the address is 221B Baker Street.
Food for thought.
Afternoon.
The game's afoot as we compare two versions of the legendary sleuth, Sherlock Holmes. And while we know the Basil Rathbone films to be the on-screen gold standard, the Robert Downey Jr. and Benedict Cumberbatch remakes each hold their own. And in our first category, we highlight one of the reasons why: cinematography. The BBC version gives us some nice shots, terrific lighting, and some very picturesque scenery. Overall, that's a 7 out of 10, but the Robert Downey Jr. films are easily on the same scale of 15, and that's far from an exaggeration, as the following clips will show. Case closed. And with that, we move on to the second category, mystery. Now, the first Holmes film has a pretty good mystery going for it. I've seen tons of films, so I can't say that I was surprised when I saw in the end that the supposed black magic was simple technology. It's a film device that's been around for quite a while. Case in point, the 1936 film Charlie Chan's Secret has the same reveal, where in the end we see the black magic and seances were simply a bunch of smoke, mirror, and radio waves. Now, it does not mean, back to my original point, that I was not intrigued by the films. The mystery of the BBC version of Sherlock, however, left me floored, particularly with the episodes Study in Pink and Sign of 3. They left me on the edge of my seats like I was watching an actual film, which is rare for television shows. Except for Criminal Minds, of course. With Sherlock, the plots are gripping, the flow is great, and the mystery-solving aspect is reminiscent of the classics. Lastly, we cover the most important element: acting. RDJ does not even come close to pulling off a convincing Holmes in the films. Sure, he adds a deductive reasoning.
However, the jewels you are not wearing tell us rather more. Holmes, you were engaged. The ring has gone, but the lighter skin where it once sat suggests that you spent some time abroad wearing it proudly. That is, until you were informed of its true and rather modest worth, at which point you broke off the engagement and returned to England for better prospects. Doctor, perhaps.
But he falls far short in the conveyance of Holmes' personality. If you read the books or watch the Basil Rathbone films, or even the Roland Howard films if you want to be adventurous, you'll see that Holmes is many things, the chief of which is a beautiful mind. Holmes is a guy who is devoid of any type of love or romantic desire. However, RDJ plays him as a guy who is head over heels for Irene. Holmes is also a musician, and RDJ only plays this up as a one-time joke. And above all, RDJ plays Holmes as a conceited, pompous piece of trash who couldn't care much about anyone. And for the record, that's how you play Iron Man, not Sherlock Holmes. But then again, that personality sort of spills into all the roles that Robert Downey Jr. plays. Reminiscent of Tom Cruise, but that's another video for another day. Benedict Cumberbatch, on the other hand, does an awesome job of depicting the famed sleuth. And if you've never seen an episode, you are doing yourself a disservice. He encapsulates the personality, often overlooked musicianship, the crime solving. Martin Freeman does 10 times a better job than Jude Law does. And the same goes with the rest of the supporting cast. In the case of the films, a lot of the supporting cast and smaller characters simply are introduced in sort of a tongue-in-cheek manner. In the BBC version, they are given actual personalities and backstories. And of course, the villains. One of the things I never liked about the Basil Rathbone films is that Moriarty, who is supposed to be a criminal mastermind, is a bit tame. In the BBC version, Moriarty is played extraordinarily, so the BBC version remains king, or queen if you Brits prefer. But that's only my take. I want to hear from you. What's your pick, and who do you think should be next? And I'll see you guys next time.
The first rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
Not much.
She's German. Rache. German for revenge. She could be trying to...
Bye, Felicia.